practice all those things, I don't think these questions are necessary. So I was asked to interview Charlie Bhai, so I have prepared some questions. So we listen to Murali, we speak knowledge, we hear knowledge, we speak knowledge, we have the truth in our heart. We have the truth in our heart. But when we come into words and actions, we slowly and easily go into ordinary thoughts and words and actions. So there are a lot of carelessness. We waste our thoughts, we waste our time, we waste our energy by talking about others and also worldly things. So how can we protect ourselves these subtle impurities?
Well, I think we all know we just have to pay more attention, because I think sometimes when I remain knowledgeful, it's like I interpret everything in life through the filter of God's truth. But often we get very emotional. And honestly, when the more I get emotional about things, I forget knowledge. So in the morning, Baba says, children have good wishes for everyone. See them as a soul. Give them respect. And then during the day, someone's maybe not giving me so much respect, and I get a bit emotional, and I create waste and negativity. So I create a lot of impurity, mainly because I let emotions control me. Now, we all have feelings, but what we really need to do is keep my feelings clean. And I feel a lot of our study is to live in this Tamo Pradhan world, live in this Kali Yugi world, interact with people with all sorts of behavior, but keep my feelings clean, because that sustains me pure. And that's why I was saying earlier that I feel the main reason we step into impurity is its reactions to people. It's feeling hurt by people, disrespected by people, and then I create that account of waste. Baba said once, there's a deep relationship between waste and power. The more waste thought, then I feel a bit weak and a bit vulnerable and so on. And honestly, I think to me, it's paying attention. And the reason why I think we have waste is we still feel you're the problem. Is that true? It's not true. Yes, it's true people behave badly. It's true people break Srimad. But if I choose to think about it and have waste, that's my problem. I should be an observer, but we think about it and therefore take myself into this subtle impurity of negativity, negative thinking and wasteful thinking. I feel really if you make a decision, Baba, I'm just going to live in this world, see everyone as a soul, have good wishes for my Lokik family, the Alokik family, my work colleagues, the people I meet in the shops. My part is to have good wishes for everybody. Possible?
So how do we know that we are giving genuinely good wishes? So I don't get affected by their behavior, because when beings in long-term knowledge, they are the one mostly they are careless in following Srimad, and so how can I improve my stage that genuinely giving good wishes means so Charlie Bhai told in the morning also, to connect with Baba all the time so that vibration will spread in the atmosphere. Even though the members, most of the members in the BK family, when they get affected by this few people behavior, so how can we help to maintain that serenity or purity in the center and the relationship, purity in relationship?
I think a lot of it is the realization that each time someone behaves badly, doesn't say sweet things, and I generate negative feeling, hurt feeling, bad feeling, critical feeling, I lose my stage. So if I realize each time I'm reacting, my stage is going down, if I'm aware, I won't keep going in that direction, because we forget that each time I'm the one who's reacting and I'm losing my spirituality. And this is why I was talking about being a detached observer. In the Centerwasi's retreat, I was mentioning one thing Baba said. Baba was saying, you should not be affected by people without knowledge. And Baba said that if they give you thorns, you should give them roses. If they give you sorrow, you should give them happiness. If they give you insults, you should give them blessings. Is that what everyone does here in Colombo? So someone insults you and you give them, oh brother, I'll give you roses, thank you. But really, what is Baba saying? It's for me. It's for me, because it's like an addiction. Some people have an addiction to alcohol and things. We are addicted to reacting to people, taking sorrow. And this is impurity. I've got to realize it's me. Because I think the reason we continue these waste thoughts is we still think it's them. We still think they are the problem. And when I realize, for instance, one brother once said to me, if someone is rude or difficult and I get upset, what upset me? Was it their behavior or was it my reaction to their behavior? It's my reaction. So who's giving me sorrow? Who's giving me sorrow? Do you believe that? Really, really, truly, truly? Because if you do, you will change. And honestly, if you can shift this way where I don't react to people, I see the soul, I have good wishes, your stage will fly. You will become an angel. But the more I react, the more I take sorrow, the more I think about people's behavior, the more I gossip and comment, my stage will remain ordinary. And it's a decision. Years ago, I made the decision to see good in people. And I think that's one of the best decisions for your spiritual growth, is to learn the value of everyone. Everyone has goodness. When we used to meet Bap Dada personally, the atmosphere was so beautiful. You know, we used to stay up all night. I've been there when Baba started at 6 p.m. Baba met souls until 10 a.m. the next morning. 16 hours giving love, giving respect. And the atmosphere is so sweet. And that's what Baba wants us to do. And I really feel that decision, not to react, not to take sorrow, not to think too much, but have good wishes, can change your Brahman life. You will become powerful.
So to change oneself, they have to take their personal responsibility of their thoughts and feelings, and they have to consciously create an environment, inner environment. But some BKs, they say that they know everything. as you said in the morning, they don't understand or they don't accept. They blindly say that we know everything, I am right. So they have the denial. And so that type of personality, so how can we help them? So only the good wishes we have to continue, any other way to make them as an honest observer. So I understand the knowledge, I practice it, I check myself, that's okay. But other people, they don't accept them, they don't check their behavior, so how can help them? To improve their spiritual progress, how can help them?
You know, one of the big lessons of this life is the word number-wise. Number-wise is not judgmental. It can sound a bit judgmental, but it's not. It's the reality of life. All of us have a different level of understanding. And we have to accept that. I feel if you understand number-wise that everyone's understanding of Gyan, everyone's relationship with Baba is different, then we can accept that some people feel that they're right when, once Baba said, some years ago Baba said, the way ego is manifesting in the family is when I think I am right, the way I think is right, my perception of things is right. We have this ego. And yet, really, I think that when you really have self-respect, you will be very, very humble. The first law of spirituality says, I am responsible for how I feel. Just like Shelby-Ben said, this is a truth. It's 100% truth. If I'm not happy, it's me. Yes, there's all these circumstances, but every thought I choose. So if someone's rude, I can choose to be hurt and upset, and that's what we mostly do, or I can choose not to take that hurt. And the only thing is, we haven't had practice, but when you practice, it's quite possible. And I find, when I was close to Daddy Janki, whenever something happened, she would look at herself. If ever someone was upset with her, she would think, what have I said or done that's actually... She would always look at herself. I find all the people who really progress take full responsibility for themselves in this way and not be judgmental, because it is a number-wise family. My own belief is that Brahma Baba, when he started, he realized Shiv Baba has come, God has come. He was so intoxicated. And he thought everyone would be the same. And then he would, in the muli, someone nodding off, someone looking miserable. And even Brahma Baba had to learn, we're all different. And for me to remain peaceful, I realize we are all different. We all have our own unique part. Actually, everyone is lovely, but we are all different. And if I have the wisdom to accept difference, I can remain peaceful. But the habit of my ego to accept sorrow from people, and I had this saying for myself, only my ego accepts sorrow. So something's making me unhappy. No, I'm not soul conscious. I'm very body conscious. I should realize that. Let's say, even if someone's rude and difficult and I'm letting it upset me, then I should realize that I'm not soul conscious at all. I'm not being knowledgeful. I'm falling back to my old pattern of being body conscious, feeling hurt, feeling upset. Of course, it takes time. It takes patience. But really, in Australia too, I say, just grow up. Get over taking sorrow from others. Get over getting disturbed by different opinions or beliefs. Even Brahma Baba used to say when children were sensitive, he'd say, you have a baby intellect, grow up. Spiritually grow up. He was sometimes quite firm. He could be.
So to accept people as they are, to be non-judgmental and to be merciful, we need the power. So our quality of yoga depends on our quality of thoughts and feelings. So our mind is influenced by our food habit and how do we spend our money, all these subtle aspects. Can you explain about that? It's subtle aspects of food habit and money.
In a way, that's what I was talking about this morning, that we want to improve meditation, so we just think, oh, when I sit for that half hour, but actually it's the other 18 hours of the day. Because if my food habits are a bit slack, if my coma is a bit inaccurate, I'm getting a little bit irritated, if my vision is not pure, I'm looking at the body of some people, or I'm actually seeing fault in people. Those subtle karmas, when I sit to meditate, they disturb my thinking. And this is why Baba says children follow Srimad. Because when I follow accurate action, it frees me to have accurate yoga. If my actions are inaccurate, it disturbs my mind so that I can't really remember Baba. And I would say one of the main disturbances is seeing fault in people. If my mind is seeing what's wrong with people, dwelling on their faults, I can't come close to Baba. And, so I don't really become powerful. I love Baba, I have faith in Baba, but I'm still fluctuating a lot. And that's where really I think it's important now to really become spiritually stable and strong.
To become spiritually and stable and strong, what are the precautions we have to take throughout the day? That is, our pure lifestyle, what should we do, what shouldn't we do?
I think we all know. We all know what to do. We just have to practice it.
So people easily come into extroversion and they make noise, even in the kitchen when they cook Brahma Bhojan, when they eat Brahma Bhojan. So how can we maintain our stage with that? So can you give some tips how to become free from those small carelessness?
We are on the family path. And the family path means we're in families, in relationship. It's our life, really. Daddy Prakashmani. Who met Daddy Prakashmani? Quite a lot, yeah. Daddy T was so light, wasn't she? So friendly, so sweet. But really, I spent a lot of time traveling with her. She's one of the most introvert people introvert means not that you remain quiet, but you're paying attention to yourself. You can still be interacting, talking, and you can still be introvert, so that you're not losing your power with waste and this sort of thing. I'd say the ultimate spiritual power is all relationships with Shiv Baba. And purity, a purity of vision. And that's just not in terms of being attracted to somebody's name and form. It's the purity of seeing their goodness and their beauty. I keep saying this, I hear myself. Really I feel you travel along in Brahma life and you get stuck. You don't feel you're really moving forward because we're just so stuck in this one's like this one's like that, they do this, they do that. And I was stuck spiritually. And when I just get over, it's a drama, it's a number-wise family. Let me see the value in everyone and in myself and take power from Baba, really. And that's why I think it was here, but it may not have been. Last few days, I used to ask myself these two questions. Who is powerful in my life? Who's powerful in my life? Is it opinions of people? Is it emotions? Is it my karmic story? Is it situations? Or is it Baba? Is it Baba? So when something goes wrong, do I just go into a spin? And I take days to recover? Or if I'm with Baba, I just remain stable and I observe the drama. Actually, we know how to become powerful. And the other question is, what fills me with power and what drains me of power? And I would say the more we have just overthink, waste and power have a deeper relationship. The more waste, the weaker I feel. That's the equation. The more my thoughts are jnani, soul-conscious, loving Baba, chatting to Baba, having good wishes, I am strong, spiritually powerful.
So nowadays, to become strong, one obstacle for the DKs is wasting time in social media. So what is your advice about that?
Self-discipline. I was talking to a young sister in Australia before I left, and she's really like an academic. She's very sweet, very lovely. And she told me she starts to look at her social media account at 10 p.m. She'll watch it till 2 a.m. She can't stop. And, really, I would say that when we remember Baba, we get willpower, we get determination, and we just need to know what's good for me and what's not good for me. And a lot of it is, mostly it's rubbish. What I feel, that the phone has been created to entertain the overactive mind of the Iron Age. Because the mind's just so overactive, I have to have something to entertain it. And if you take people's phones away, if you take children's phones away, what happens? What happens? They have tantrums. But this is the world we live in, and I think we as Brahmins have to be, a little bit is okay. Too much, you should discipline yourself. And so I told this sister, give your phone to the center coordinator every night. Yeah, we have to do things to change, because this is the confluence age. This is the time we can know Baba. If we're wasting so much time, not just in social media, but overthinking, gossiping, etc.
So in your presence here, many BKs have shared that they are experiencing subtle presence of our Nirmala Didi. So Baba always says she is Nirmal Ashram. So you had been with her in a close association for a long time. So can you share your experience of Didi's Dharma of purity?
Didi had so many qualities, but really her purity was so strong. Didi was never influenced by anyone, that's what I found. That's purity. She never got impressed by anyone. But she also didn't spend time having negative thoughts, both ways. She didn't get impressed, didn't get disgusted, both sides. She was really quite detached, because where does Diddy's detachment come from? My experience was she had all relationships with one. She really was in love with one. And when you're so absorbed in Baba, it pulls you beyond influences, it just pulls you beyond. So it's a natural detachment. It's not a forced detachment. And I would say too, Didi was very strong. She would say clearly what she liked and didn't like, but she was extremely humble. And she never was attached to her position. And sometimes, I would disagree with her. She would disagree with me, which is normal, And sometimes she would say something and I'd say, what about this? I feel this. And then she'd go away and think, and then she'd come back and say, yes, we should. So she was very flexible in that way. And she had no sense of attachment to her position or whatever. She was really clean. And I found that, Didi, if you made a mistake, I even saw some people break celibacy, even that mistake. If they were honest with Didi, she would treat them so lovely. In fact, I found they came closer. She loved people who were honest. She loved people, no matter what happened, she didn't care, but if they're honest, and that's a form of purity, isn't it? And she was very honest, very straight in that way. Because I spent 33 years living and working with Didi. And, Didi was a very strong person. And she said things like she felt. So sometimes some people will come to me and say, oh, Didi said this to me, Didi said that to me. Because she was very strong. And I used to say, well, imagine how much she said to me. Because, I was with her more than anyone. And sometimes she was very strong, but I realized it was for my benefit. Yeah, she was really for my benefit. And Didi was incredibly practical. I found that she was very practical. And, in Australia, she was so fun-loving. Sometimes she would read the Muli and she would get the giggles, and the Muli stopped for 10 minutes because Didi was laughing so much. She was so light. And the Australian nature, they like to have a bit of fun. And so once I asked Didi, when she moved back to India, I said, Didi, you've come back home, but what do you miss in Australia? And she said, the fun and the laughter. Because we used to have a lot of fun. We used to tease her a little bit too. But she liked it. She liked it. And Didi had incredible purity, and that's why she was so strong. Nothing could shake her. And she had so many tests in her life. But she was really very stable and strong. Yeah.
So, when we talk about honesty, you said in the morning also, there are some people, they are internally different and externally different. The internal honesty is lacking. So how to recognize that and protect us from that type of people, that they are not clean inside. So,
but I think, all of us came to Baba with some of that, because, we don't want to, the rubbish inside, we don't want to spread it everywhere. So often we have a sweet face for life, but how I am inside is a little bit different. But I think it's really, spirituality is to be detached and loving. And when you're detached, you observe all these behaviors, even if someone is different inside and out. I see it, but I don't have bad feeling for it. Or I see someone is maybe twisting the truth a little bit. When we're body conscious, we have bad feeling. When we're soul conscious, we observe it, but we maintain good feeling. That's how Baba does. Baba can see all our behavior. He still loves us completely. Baba wants us to be the same. And I remember once Baba saying that sometimes a soul makes a mistake and breaks Srimat maybe, and we think, we get on our high horse of justice. They've made that mistake, they've broken Srimat. And Baba said, they've made a mistake and your judgmental nature is an equal mistake. Because we get very moralistic. Oh, look at this soul. They're like this. They're not good. So they made a mistake and my reaction is an equal mistake. In body consciousness, I see bad behavior, I have negative feeling. In soul consciousness, I will still see the bad behavior, but I maintain good feeling. I maintain love. This, if you want to change your Lokik family, if you want to change atmospheres, maintain good feelings. I feel it's so much of Baba's teaching today. Children live in this Tamo Pradhan world, but give elevated Sato vibrations to everyone. It does take spiritual strength, but that's how we become world transformers, by being like that.
Any questions from the family? Anyone who wants to ask any questions? We have time. Otherwise, Charlie Bhai can share some more experience with other seniors like Daddy Janki, Daddy Gulsa ji, Daddy Prakash Mani ji. Some experiences based on the topic sweetness and cleanliness.
In the process of transformation, reaction into reflection, reflection into revelation. Can you explain the barriers and how to overcome?
So I couldn't quite hear clearly, I'm sorry.
In the process of transformation, reaction into reflection, reflection into revelation. In the process, what are the barriers and how we can overcome?
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about really, that, our habit is to react. Then with Gyan, we reflect deeply rather than reacting what I need to do. And then our behavior will reveal Baba. That's simple. It's very straightforward.
For us, for Sri Lankans, any suggestion to which area we have to, develop for our progress?
In Sri Lanka?
Our family, which area we have to be,
Well, my feeling is that really Sri Lanka, as I said, outside of India, it's number one, really. Outside India, Nepal, because the size of service, the quality of the centres, the family, it's wonderful. Really, and I really mean that. I think everything is good. But the only thing I feel is this vision on each other can improve. To really see the beauty in the other one. It's a drama, each soul's playing their part. And if my drishti falls on the beauty, it's like a gift for another soul. When you see someone's sweetness and you see it's like it's like giving them a precious gift. They feel your good wishes and your goodwill. And I just think a little bit too much gossip and commenting on each other. It's not just here, it's everywhere. But honestly, I feel if we all paid attention to seeing the value of, having that soul-conscious drishti and giving that love and respect to everyone, I feel that the atmosphere would even become more powerful. And to me, that's what will attract so many people. If it's possible to see more virtue in each other, have good wishes for each other, I feel if I came in 1 year's time, there'd be 100,000 BKs here. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but really, I think each one has to just move into that stage beyond this game of taking sorrow from others, being affected by others. Baba wants us to step out of that and step into being the angel. The angel has benevolent feelings for everybody. And talking, Sister Shelby was saying, Daddy Prakashmani, how did she hold the yajna together? She held the whole yajna, hundreds of thousands, in her attitude, because she was benevolent to everybody. She knew everybody, she knew their background, she knew their past, and yet her good wishes. And when an instrument has that drishti, it brings everyone together. And I think, Daddyji was just so incredibly powerful in that way of giving love to all. And I can't remember where I was saying this, but, when, maybe it was, I forget when I was saying, but when she left the body, how Baba gives a trance message for 13 days. And Daddy Gulzar went into trance for 13 days. And the main thing Baba said about Daddyji, self-respect and respect. That was her formula for progress. She lived in her self-respect and she gave respect to everyone, and she reached the highest stage. Brahma Baba's formula was incorporeal, egoless and viceless. He reached the angel stage. But Daddyji, that's how she worked. She just gave regard to everybody. But you need very elevated self-respect to do that. And as doing so, service absolutely flourished under Daddyji because of that nature. And I travelled with Daddyji to South India. I've travelled around America with Daddyji. I've travelled around Australia with Daddyji. And really, she was, completely selfless and humble. It was very, very inspiring. Once I was meeting Bap Dada, the first time I went in the history hall. It was my first, not my first muli, actually, probably third or fourth. And at the end, when everyone feeds Borg to Baba, at the end of the night, well, everyone started to feed Borg to Baba, Daddyji, and the other daddies. And Daddyji said to me, say something to Baba. I don't speak Hindi. So she would say something in Hindi, and I would repeat it like a parrot. So she said in Hindi, Baba, I love you, so I just copied. And she said, Baba, I've searched for you for so long in Hindi, and I just copied 3 or 4 times, and then she said something, I just copied. And Baba laughed, and everyone laughed and laughed and laughed. And she said in Hindi, Baba, I'm a monkey. And so I looked at Baba and I said, Baba, I'm a monkey. And this was Daddyji. She was so playful. She was very light, very playful. It has that purity. I feel sometimes we are too religious about Brahman life, This is not a religion. This is living with Baba, enjoyment. We can have fun, we can be light. Religions are often very strict and rigid and formal and boring. We should be very light and joyous. And that's, I feel the Rajayoga that Brahma Baba taught was like that. I've had the fortune in the last few years to go to Pakistan twice. And I've visited all of Baba's places. That was so touching. And when I went to Kunj Bhavan in Karachi twice, I've been, it's a huge house, you can't imagine. Mama lived there with 60 Kumaris. Daddy Prakash Mani, all of them were living there in Kunj Bhavan. I could just feel the incredible atmosphere in that building. They did no service. None. Gyan and yoga. But they laid such a foundation. And now what do? Mainly we do service. And sometimes we put Gyan and yoga second. But that's how they became so strong, because they could, when you have deep Gyan, no matter what happens in the drama, you can deal with it. And when you have yoga power, no matter what challenge comes, you can manage it. You have this inner willpower and strength. And that's really where I think we really have to not just believe Gyan, practice it. And to me, churning Gyan is interpreting every scene of life through Baba's Gyan. When a relative leaves the body, someone really close to me, do I get all emotional? Or do I give so much love, and yet I understand this is just the eternal journey of this soul. We are all going to leave the body. And I've seen with the daddies, once I was in a meeting with Daddy Janki, and a brother ran in, said, Daddy, brother so-and-so just left his body 5 minutes ago, and he was a senior brother of London. And Daddy Janki, straight away, oh, my lovely brother, he was so sweet, he was so humble. Not, what happened, human being, what happened? None of that. We've got to be Gyani, we've got to really, this is God's truth, we've got to practice it. It's just not believing it. If we can believe it, but when the drama throws up challenges, we forget the knowledge and we get all emotional, all disturbed. But the daddies, like Daddy was just so loving to that brother. And I really like that, because this is where Baba wants us to be, really Gyani yogi, and serve mainly through who I am rather than what I know and my skills. It's good. Use those skills. There's so many people serving the world out there. But what people want to see is people whose faces shine with love and light and purity. And then they know. When I started in London, I went to the Spiritualist Association of Great Britain. And as soon as I saw Daddy Janki and Genti Ben, I could see on their faces they were experiencing something. We all read each other's faces. The more we really study, practice, our face will reveal everything.
When someone is suffering due to some karmic accounts, can we help them to overcome through our drishti, through our good wishes? Is it possible?
Yes, a little bit. When someone's going through a difficult period, let's say their health is bad, problems in the family, the love of the Brahmin family helps a lot. But, each individual has their own karmic story. And if you have Gyan, you can actually... Or what is Gyan? Gyan is changing the quality of my karma. previously I did my karma under the basis of body consciousness. The more now I do it on the basis of knowledge and soul consciousness, I change my direction in life. Life becomes better and happier. But still karmic accounts will come to all of us, and the knowledgeful soul won't overreact, won't take sorrow, understands it's the end of the cycle. Problems will come everywhere. And we have gyan to solve the problems. And so yeah, it does help. It does help. But even Baba can't settle our karmic account. Even Baba teaches us how to settle. He can't settle my karmic account.
This is the final question. Baba says at the end, everyone will become united as one. But as per Brahma, it collapses in terms of yajna and world. But as per Brahma, it collapses in terms of yajna and world. How it happens, or in what situation? No, sir. Sister, you ask.
The question is, Charlie Bhai, in the end, Baba says it seems everything will be united into oneness. In the end. So he is asking, but at the moment when we see the world or anywhere, the deviation is more going on. So how it will come, how it will happen, or when it will happen, oneness?
My understanding is it won't become oneness now in the golden age, but not in the confluence age. No, I don't think so. The Brahmin family, I think we will become more and more, as the world goes down so fast, we will come closer to each other. But I don't think full oneness personally will happen in the confluence age. It's the golden age that we are one. Now maybe I've misunderstood. Yeah, it's okay. And finally, I think Sister Ambika has a question.
Actually, my question is like I have seen, other than Bharat, I think in Sri Lanka it's in practice, like we don't want to reveal Babas directly. Not to say Shiv Baba, not to. Sometimes I feel, my beloved Baba is so powerful, so almighty, but still we are restricted in revealing him, whereas he wanted every Murali, he says, reveal me, reveal me. So how are we going to do that? Without revealing him or his name or his form, or that's something that, triggers my mind.
But even in the Sakamolis, sometimes Baba says, children, don't just say God has come. Baba says, because so many groups are saying God has come. I think we have to have a discriminating intellect, because we can meet certain groups and they will really be happy if we explain in great detail who Shiv Baba is and how he comes. But other groups, we have to be more respectful of their background. As for instance, if maybe people are from a Buddhist background or a Christian background or even an atheist background, I think our humility is we have to see that and adjust. If we go out and say, God has come, but my face doesn't show it, no one will believe me. And that's why really it's better to show it here and in my behavior, then people will believe it, really. But that time will come, and it's coming closer, where people, I find whenever I give a public talk, I will always talk about Baba. And introduce, because I think it's our duty to offer people the introduction to God, but in a way that's palatable for them. And not preaching. People don't like preaching, sermonizing, but almost if it's your own experience and how this has helped you. I think we have to serve with a lot of humility. Because even if we have a slight feeling, I'm right, I know, and we do know who God is, that vibration isn't received so well. So we have to be very humble in the way we speak.
Thank you very much, Charlie Bhai ji. So, for all your sustenance, lovely and powerful sustenance we got. So, we are now finishing this session. So, now when we remember Baba, we all will have a united thought to have good wishes to each other and unite the family and to become powerful when we meet Charlie Bhai ji next year.
डरने की क्या बात है, ईश्वर अपने साथ है। डरने की क्या बात है, सदा सफलता साथ हमारे, सदा सफलता साथ हमारे, हाथ में उसके हाथ है। ईश्वर अपने साथ है, करने की क्या बात है, सदा सफलता साथ हमारे, सदा सफल